Page 478. The Man, His Son, and the Donkey. Number 17. Use the following hints and write a story. Add a title and a moral. Points. A man and his son going to the market bought a donkey. While returning, some men rebuked them for not riding the donkey. The man put his son on the donkey. Again, some men rebuked the boy for making his father walk. The man told the boy to get off and himself rode on the donkey. Again rebuked by some women for making the boy walk. Then both started riding the donkey. Finally rebuked by some for overburdening the donkey. At last, both of them carried the donkey on their back. Finally, the donkey fell into a river. In a bid to please all, they could please none. The man, his son, and the donkey. A man and his son once went to a market. From there, they bought a donkey. As they were returning from the market, they were walking alongside the donkey, donkey. Some countrymen who were passing by laughed at them and said, quote, "You fools, a donkey is for riding and not for walking by your side. Stop," unquote. Hearing this, the man ordered his son to get up on the donkey. Thus they went on their way like that for some time until they met a group of old people. One of them saw the boy riding and the man walking by the side. He then said to his companions, quote, "Look at that lazy fellow, he is young but is riding the donkey and making his older companion walk along. Stop," unquote. On hearing these words, the man ordered his son to get off, and he himself rode the donkey and went on their way. They had not gone far when a group of women passed by them. When they saw the man riding and the boy walking along, they rebuked the man, quote, "Look at the lazy lout!" Exclamation. "His poor little companion is trudging along while he himself is riding." Exclamation, unquote. Now the man was utterly confused. He thought for some time. Finally, he told the boy to climb up the donkey and sit in front of him. So both the man and his son rode the donkey and reached another village. In that village, the father-son duo was criticized by a group of men. Quote, "Aren't you ashamed of yourself for overburdening that poor donkey with you and your son, unquote, said one of them. The man and his son got off. He decided to carry the donkey on his shoulders. Seeing this, everyone they met laughed. Page 479. Soon they reached a bridge on a small river. The donkey finally kicked out. The man lost his balance and the donkey fell into the river. It drifted away in the strong current. Moral. Please all and you will please none. Word notes. Alongside, pashapashi, lazy, kure, companion, shongi, rebuked, ভৎসনা করেছিল. Lout, L-O-U-T, উদ্ধত অভদ্র লোক. Trudge, T-R-U-D-G-E, ক্লান্তির কারণে পা টেনে টেনে চলা. Criticized, সমালোচনা করেছিল. Overburdening, অতিরিক্ত ভার চাপিয়ে দেওয়া. Drifted away, ভেসে গিয়েছিল. Strong current, তীব্র স্রোত. 18. Develop a story using the following hints. Add a title and a moral. Points. A small reed at the foot of a huge tree. Tree asks Reed why not grow up to be large. Reed replies that its state is better, that it is safe. Tree ridicules and boasts he is the safest and no one can uproot him. A hurricane arrives, uproots the tree, reduces it to a useless log. Reed is safe because it had stopped its Reed is safe because it had stooped, stooped, its head with a strong wind. The Tree and the Reed. Once there was a mighty oak near a stream. One day it noticed a small reed that had grown at its foot. Quote, "Well there, comma, you little one," unquote, comma, said the tree to the reed, comma, quote, "Why don't you plant your feet deeper into the ground and raise your head into the sky, as I have done, question mark, unquote." To this the reed replied humbly, comma, quote, "O mighty oak, comma, I am pretty much content with my fate. Moreover, comma, I must confess that I might not be as grand and majestic as you are, comma, but I definitely am in a safer position. Stop," unquote. The tree, on hearing the words of the reed, laughed out loud. It sneered, S-N-E-E-R-E-D, at the reed and mockingly said, comma, quote, "Safe, exclamation. Is that what you think you are, question mark, unquote." It then haughtily asserted, comma, quote, "No one, dot, 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 absolutely no one can even think of cutting me, printing mistake, uprooting me, stop, unquote." A few days later, it so happened that a hurricane of great magnitude arose. The mighty oak struggled hard to keep his head upright and confront the hurricane, but soon the hurricane tore it up from its roots and cast it on the ground as a useless log. But the little reed that had bent its head to the force of the wind sprang upright as soon as the storm passed over. When it saw the condition of the oak, O-A-K, comma, it mourned the oak's fate. Moral, at times, comma, stoop to conquer. Word notes, mighty, শক্তিশালী, reed, নলখাগড়া, humbly, বিনীতভাবে, content, সন্তুষ্ট, grand, বৃহৎ, majestic, মহিমান্বিত, sneered, অবজ্ঞা করেছিল, mockingly, বিদ্রূপ করেছিল, haughtily, উদ্ধতভাবে, asserted, ঘোষণা করেছিল, conversation, কথোপকথন, hurricane, প্রচণ্ড ঝড়, magnitude, মাত্রা, log, কাটা গাছের গুঁড়ি, upright, খাড়া, mourned, দুঃখ করেছিল, fate, এফেটি, ভাগ্য, conquer, জয় করা. 19. Develop the following information into an ideal story and give a suitable title and a moral to it. Points. Mayor of Hamelin. Hamelin, a town in Germany. Cats troubled town people. Resignation of the mayor demanded. The mayor decided The mayor declared a fabulous prize for killing the rats. To save his rank, the pied P I-E-D, piper, P-I-P-E-R, arrived. The piper played on his pipe. The rats jumped into the river. Prize refused. The piper played another tune. Children came out. Loss of children. The Pied Piper of Hamelin. Hamelin. The mayor of Hamelin, a town in Germany, thought that under him the people were happy and the town was peaceful. But the peace of the town was disturbed when the rats, the little devils as the people described them, infested the whole town, bringing about a disaster. The people were much worried because the rats not only ate the food but bit the babies in their cradles. CRADLES. They went to the mayor, impatiently demanding his resignation. The mayor, not finding any other way, declared that whoever would kill all the rats of the town would be given a fabulous prize. Para. On hearing the mayor's declaration, the Pied Piper, a strange-looking man, dressed in a long coat of two colors, came to the town. The people of the town gaped at him as they had not witnessed such a bizarre bizarre appearance of a man in their town ever. The Pied Piper went to the mayor and said, quote, "I will rid your town of rats, semicolon. But you must first assure that you will give me the declared reward in the end. Remember what you have promised, unquote." The mayor agreed. Para. Assured of the declared prize for the hard task, the Pied Piper began to play a strange tune on his pipe incessantly. Incessantly. To the utter surprise of the townsfolk, innumerable rats came out of their hiding places. They followed the piper in a long procession as if they were all hypnotized. Finally, the rats pledged, PLEDGED, into the river Weser, WESCR, and got drowned. The Pied Piper, having accomplished his mission, returned to the mayor for the declared reward. The mayor, realizing that the town was now free of rats forever, smiled wickedly at him. He refused to give the agreed reward. The Pied Piper, enraged, began to play another tune on his pipe. All the children of the town followed the Pied Piper until they entered a cave from which none ever came back. Thus, the mayor's dishonesty was responsible for the loss of all children of Hamelin. Moral: a promise should be kept. Word notes: resignation is tougher. Fabulous, darun, bizarre, adbhut, incessantly, অনবরত, innumerable, অসংখ্য, hypnotized, সম্মোহিত, accomplished, কার্যসিদ্ধি, responsible, দায়ী. 20. Develop the following outline into a story and give a suitable title and a moral to it. Points. Newton was then 50 years old, had been studying the theory of gravitation for more than 20 years. One evening went out for a while. Manuscripts of his discovery on the table. His dog Diamond upturned the lighted candle. Manuscripts burnt. Page 480. To ashes. Newton remained quiet, patted the head of the dog, grief concealed. Newton's NEWTON''S generosity, GENEROSITY. Isaac ISAAC Newton, one of the greatest scientists of the world, never complained. An incident which might have made another man rather cantankerous and caustic, did not affect the great scientist. Newton was then almost 50. He had spent the last 20 years being absorbed in studying the theory of light and wrote his findings in manuscripts. He left these manuscripts on the table quite casually, as if they were some trivial, trivial, trivial things. Para. One evening brought about the great disaster to the world of science, but nothing to its creator except untold grief. Newton was studying and pulling down his findings in the manuscripts. After some time, he went out for a walk to clear his mind. He left his important works rather carelessly and in a disorderly manner on the table. He was lost in his profound thoughts. Newton's dog, Diamond, habituated to sitting beside its master during his work, had remained behind. Jumping on the table in pursuit of a large set that had suddenly appeared, Diamond overturned the lighted candle on the table. The manuscripts immediately caught fire and were reduced to ashes. Para. On returning, Newton saw smoke coming out from the room. Rushing in, he saw his papers burning. Diamond was found standing nearby. But still he did not become angry with the dog that had destroyed everything he had. Concealing his grief and restraining his temper, he surprisingly patted his dog on the head. He did this in spite of realizing that his hard labor of 20 years was now nothing but ashes then. Moral self-control makes one humane, Humane. Word notes: cantankerous, jograte; caustic, jhajalo; trivial, tuccho; manuscript, pandulipi; habituated, অভ্যস্ত; upturned, উল্টে গিয়েছিল; concealing, আড়াল করে; temperament, স্বভাব; human, মানবিক. 21. Write a story with the help of the following hints. Give a suitable title and a moral to the story. Point: Socrates, a great philosopher, indifferent to trivial things of life. Wife, became furious because of some family matters, abused her husband. Socrates sitting on the doorsteps, absent-minded, did not pay heed to her words. Wife became more furious, emptied a bucket of water on the head of Socrates. Passers-by laughed. Socrates laughed too. He realized the truth of nature. After thunder, there must be the rain. Socrates, Socrates, a seeker, Seeker, of truth. Socrates, the great philosopher, was an ardent seeker of truth. This motivation made him so indifferent to the mundane reality that he kept himself aloof, aloof, from trivial family matters. One day his wife became angry with him. She began to blame him harshly, but he failed to give any response. She, being an ordinary woman, could not penetrate into the realm, REALM, of thoughts of her great philosopher husband, Socrates. But she was determined to make her husband respond to her anger. Para. Socrates was then sitting on the doorsteps thinking of the vast creation of the universe and of those truths which unite everything so organically that dissociation from them is impossible. He was absorbed in his thoughts and ideas not paying heed to the words of his furious wife. But his wife was bent on getting his attention. She took a bucket filled with water and emptied the bucket of water on his head. Socrates was first puzzled, as he could not understand how he got drenched suddenly on a clear day. But he remained as calm as ever. Just then some passerby who had witnessed the event burst into laughter. On seeing them laughing, Socrates began to laugh himself. He smiled at his wife and said, comma, quote, "I have realized the truth of nature, dash. After thunder there must be the rain, stop, unquote." Moral. Calm, C-A-L-M, of mind is always a boon, B-O-O-N. Word notes: mundane, sadharon, aloof, udasin, trivial, tucho, penetrate, bhed kora, realm, rajoto, dissociation, ব্যবধান বা বিচ্ছেদ. 22. Develop the following information into a story and give a suitable title and a moral to it. Points. A traveler. Loved his horse. Went out for some business. Riding his horse. He had to reach the town as soon as possible. The horse galloped day long. It was tireless. The traveler was very happy. The weather became inclement. It was a stormy night. The rain commenced. The horse stopped. The traveler tried to resume his journey. The horse did not move. The traveler became furious. He whipped the horse severely. He took shelter in the cave. The horse remained standing outside. The sun rose. The traveler came out of the cave. He wanted to resume his journey. He was taken aback. The bridge in front of them had collapsed. The horse saved the life of the traveler. The traveler was grateful. He thanked the horse. He regretted his ill treatment. Wrong judgment. WRONG JUDGEMENT. A traveler, Rakshat Khan, RAKSHAT loved his horse dearly. One day he went out riding his horse to reach the town, which was far away from the village he lived in. He urged his horse into a gallop because he had to reach the town quickly. He enjoyed the scenic beauty of the world to his heart's content while passing the meadows, the hills, and the valleys. The sound of the hooves, HOOVES, provided the accompanying music. Concluding his business, Rakshat Khan was very happy. He set off on his return journey. Suddenly the weather became inclement. It started raining heavily. Rakshat Khan realized that they might be in trouble. But eager to reach home, he did not want any delay. All at once the horse stopped. It would not move at all. The Rakshat was angry. He tried using sweet words, but the horse remained standing still. Page 481. Becoming angry, he whipped, WHIPPED, the horse mercilessly, but in vain. Rakshat Khan felt resentment towards the horse, and he took shelter in a cave nearby while his horse remained standing in the darkness of the stormy night. Para. The night passed. It was a bright morning the next day. Everything was glistening in the sunshine. Rakshat Khan came out of the cave and saw the horse still standing at the same place. He came nearer and stared at the horse indignantly. Suddenly he saw the bridge in front of him had collapsed. He was surprised and shocked. He patted his horse, regretting what he had done the previous night. He realized that the horse was not stubborn, S-T-U-B-B-O-R-N, semicolon. Rather, it had sensed the danger ahead and had not moved further. Thus, it had saved the life of its master. Moral: examine well before judgment. Word notes: meadows, মাঠ, inclement, ছোড়ো, mercilessly, নির্দয়ভাবে, resentment, বিরক্তিবোধ, indignantly, ঘৃণার সাথে, stubborn, একগুঁয়ে. 23. Develop the following information into an ideal story and give a suitable title and a moral to it. Points. King Solomon, famous for his wisdom. Queen of Sheba, Sheba, came to know about him, met him, wanted to test his knowledge and wisdom, gave him 2 garlands as gifts. They were the same as they looked, one original, the other artificial. She asked the king to identify the original. Solomon was thinking. Queen was jubilant. The king ordered to open the window. Bees flew in from the garden. The bees buzzed and sat on the original. The king chose the original garland. Queen was impressed. Wisdom of King Solomon, Solomon. King Solomon was famous for his wisdom in the ancient world. His reign was marked by his prudent judgment and wise approaches to the world and its people. Queen Sheba heard about King Solomon. She was not only beautiful but also intelligent. Therefore, she desired greatly to test the knowledge and wisdom of King Solomon. Para. One day, Queen Sheba came to the palace of King Solomon. She carried 2 garlands of roses she wished to give King Solomon as pleasant gifts. It was a large hall where King Solomon welcomed Queen Sheba. Her attendants carried many gifts, but the queen herself had 2 garlands in her hand. The queen placed the 2 garlands in the middle of the hall on a stand. The courtiers and others present there were much vexed because they could not understand why the queen had brought 2 garlands of roses which were identical. They eagerly waited for the revelation of the intention of the queen. Queen Sheba honored King Solomon and asked him most respectfully to choose the garland of original roses. Everyone was taken aback because it was beyond one's capability to recognize that one of the garlands was false. Even King Solomon, whose wisdom was unquestionable, felt uneasy at the task of reorganizing the garland of original roses. He looked at the garlands for a while and then asked the servants to open the windows of the hall. At once the bees, B-E-E-S, flew in from the garden. They kept buzzing around the 2 garlands and finally sat on the garland of original roses. King Solomon smiled at Queen Sheba and pointed out the garland of real roses. Queen Sheba could not help admiring King Solomon. Moral: Wisdom never fails to give answers. Word notes: reign, rajotto; prudent, prudent, bichakkhon; desired, utshuk; gallant, mala; recognize, chinte para; buzzing, gunjon. 24. Write a story with the help of the following outline and give a suitable title and a moral to it. Points. An English young man became a soldier. The Second World War. Sent to France. Dreamt of his village. He was very sad. Forced to fight. Imprisoned by the enemy force. Spent his youth in the prison. Finally released from the prison. Came back home. He was a changed man. The bird sellers. He bought all the birds. The birds were caged. He set the birds free. The birds flew in the sky. Bird seller wanted him to tell why he did so. He shared the pain of the birds. The value of freedom. A young man in England was very happy with his country life. He enjoyed nature's beauty, sowed the seeds in the fields, and worked hard for a good harvest. His cottage, though small, was covered with vines which glowed with the color of the setting sun. Para. Then Second World War broke out and he was summoned to go to France as a soldier. He boarded the train one day, leaving behind his beautiful cottage, green fields, clear azure sky, and the gentle breeze of his countryside. His country was defeated in the battlefield and he was imprisoned for many years. He spent his youth in the prison remembering his beautiful native land and dreaming of the time when he would soon enjoy freedom. The day finally came when he was released from prison. He was welcomed home and wandered in the countryside. A great change had occurred in him because he did not feel the same dizzy rapture that he once had. He thought how his imprisonment had robbed him of his gay, G-A-Y, abandon, A-B-A-N-D-O-N. He noticed a bird seller carrying many birds in cage. The soldier bought all the birds and set them free. He stood in the open field and saw the birds flying away in the sky with the sheer joy of freedom. The bird seller, utterly confused, asked the soldier the reason for doing such a silly thing. The soldier faintly smiled at him and replied, quote, I know how painful it is to be cooped, C-O-O-P-E-D, up, stop, unquote. Moral. Freedom is everyone's birthright. Word notes: sowed, বীজ বপন করেছিল; harvest, ফসল; vines, আঙুরলতা; warfront, যুদ্ধক্ষেত্র; azure, আকাশী নীল; rapture, প্রবল আনন্দ; cooped up, বন্দী ছিল. Page 482, 25. Develop the following information into an ideal story and give a suitable title and a moral to it. Points. Subjects complained against the king's dishonesty. The king planned a milk pond in the capital. Workers dug up a big pond. Each subject was ordered to pour a jar of milk at night. The chosen day arrived. Everyone poured a jar of water, thought his one jar of water would make no difference. Pond of water, king proved his point. The honest king and his dishonest subjects. Once upon a time there lived a king. His subjects failed to understand why they were not progressing in different spheres in comparison to the neighboring kingdoms. They came to the conclusion that their king himself was dishonest, so development was thwarted. THWARTD. Immediately they went to king's palace and complained against his dishonesty. The king, who was honest and a philanthropist, was trying his best to reign his kingdom with justice. He was shocked on hearing the complaint of his subjects. He decided that some lesson must be taught to his dishonest subjects to make them realize that they should criticize themselves first before complaining against someone. Eventually, he declared that he would dig up a big pond in the center of his capital and asked each subject to pour a jar of milk in the pond at night. It would then be a pond of milk, the king declared. The pond was dug up. The day was fixed, and all were agog, A-G-O-G, with tension. Everyone wondered what was in the mind of the king. The chosen day arrived, and the king ordered each subject to pour a jar of milk into the big pond at night. Each subject reached the pond with his jar, but instead of milk, all of them poured a jar of water, each thinking that a single jar of water would make no difference to a pond filled with milk. The morning arrived and all reached the pond. But the king and his subjects were all surprised to see that it was not a pond of milk but just a pond of water. When the king smiled at his subjects meaningfully, they realized that their dishonesty had been displayed by the king. Utterly ashamed, they all begged pardon of the king. The king pardoned them and advised to do their own work honestly. Moral: judge yourself before judging others. Word notes: spheres, khetro, neighboring, pratibeshi. Conclusion: Siddhanto, thwarted, badha pelo. Philanthropist, manobhitoishi, agog, uttejito. 26. Develop the following outline into a short story in about 150 to 200 words. Give your story a suitable title. Annual Exam 2014. Points. A little girl got many gifts on her birthday. Uncle gave money to buy toys. Next day, the girl went to the market, saw a little boy begging with the mother, both pale and hungry. The girl felt sad, bought food for the boy and his mother, spent all money for them. On return, uncle asked about the toy. Bought joy instead of toy, the girl replied. Joy instead of toy. Mr. and Mrs. Sen's daughter, Smita, S-M-I-T-A, the apple of their eye, is the center of all their affection, hopes, and aspirations. Naturally, her birthday brings a new spirit of joy to the family. On 10 February, all the members of the family and friends assembled to enjoy the birthday party. This year was no exception. On the occasion of 10th birthday, Smita's birthday, a party was arranged. On the occasion of Smita's 10th birthday, a party was arranged. This year she got many gifts, but her uncle gave her a 1,000 rupee note to allow her to buy a toy of her own choice. The next day, Smita, accompanied by her parents, went to the market to buy a toy. Smita was naturally in high spirits. She hadn't yet decided what to buy. While her parents looked for a fashionable toy shop, she lagged behind as her searching glance fell on the colorful items on the displays of the shops. Then, in one corner of the market, Smita saw a little boy begging with his mother. They looked pale and hungry. Their misery touched the soft heart of the little girl Smita. She really felt for them. With tears rolling down her cheeks, she said, quote, "Mother, father, I'll buy food for them, stop. They are hungry, stop," unquote. Her parents at once allowed her to buy food for the poor little boy and his mother. Smita spent all her money to buy food for them. Then she handed over the food to them and returned home. At night, her uncle asked her about the toy she bought. Quote, "I bought joy instead of toy," unquote, replied the girl. Moral, to be happy, make others happy. Word notes, apple of their eye, chokher moni, misery, dukho durdasha, accompanied, সঙ্গ দিয়েছিল. 27. Write a story in about 150 to 200 words with the following outline. Sample questions, WBCHAC. Points. A poor man. Wife ill and starving. Goes to tea stall begging. Gets thrashing. Steals biscuits. Gets caught. Crowd gathers. Gets beating. Conclusion. Youth teaches experience. Shankar was a poor man. His wife was ill and starving. Shankar had lost his job as a driver. Standing in front of the house, Shankar saw Karthik's tea stall. Quote, "Will Karthik give me some biscuits?" Unquote, he wondered. Going to the stall, he begged Karthik of a packet of biscuits. Quote, "Oh, you have come again. I see. No, I can't give you anything. Go away or I'll hit you. Stop," unquote. Screamed Karthik. "Please, two biscuits only. Then you won't listen. Here, I will give you this," said Karthik, and taking Shankar by the collar, gave him a good thrashing. Some passers-by intervened and rescued Shankar. Para. But Shankar was determined to take the biscuits. He waited for his chance. When Karthik was busy serving tea to the customers, he quickly tried to steal 2 biscuits. Unfortunately, Karthik caught him with his hand right in the jar. There was no stopping Karthik then. Before long, a crowd gathered to see a thief being beaten. Just then, Ramin, a local youth, passed by. He knew Shankar's circumstances. Stopping Karthik, he said, "Don't you know about Shankar? He has lost his job, has a sick wife, no money. Have you no pity?" So saying, he helped the bruised and bleeding Shankar up. "Here, Karthik, I'll pay for what Shankar wants." Page 483. Hanging his head in shame, Karthik gave the biscuits without taking the money. Moral. Benevolence is the greatest virtue. Word notes. Starving, na খেয়ে আছে. Screamed, চিৎকার করেছিল. Thrashing, বেধড়ক পিটিয়েছিল. Intervened, হস্তক্ষেপ করেছিল. Circumstances, অবস্থা বা পরিস্থিতি. Pity, করুণা. 28. Develop the following outline into a short story in about 150 to 200 words. Add a title to the story. Annual Exam 2016. Points. The wheels of a cart sank into mud. The carter whipped the bullocks in vain. Prayed to God of strength for help. The God appeared, asked him to put his shoulder to the wheel. The cart moved. The cart driver rescued his bullock cart. It was a rainy season. The paths through the villages and fields were muddy. A carter, C-A-R-T-E-R, was driving his bullock cart along a deserted path through the cornfields. Suddenly the wheels of the cart sank into the mud and the bullocks could not move the cart any more. The carter got angry and whipped the bullocks repeatedly, but that did not make the situation any better. He shouted, but nobody was around to hear him. The carter now got frustrated and cursed his bad luck. He had nothing to do but to pray to God of strength for helping him to rescue his cart. He got afraid and started to cry. Then God appeared and the carter became happy as he expected God would rescue his cart. But God did not do so. He just asked the carter to put his shoulder to the wheel. The carter did so. After a series of repeated attempts, the cart started to move. The carter felt happy. Moral: God helps those who help themselves. Stop. Self-help is the best help. Word notes: carter, Garwan. Shipped, চাবুক মেরেছিল. Frustrated, হতাশাগ্রস্ত. Rescue, উদ্ধার করা. 29. Develop the following outline into a short story in about 150 to 200 words. Give your story a suitable title. Annual Exam 2017. Points. 3 artists compete for a prize. The first paints a bunch of flowers. Bees are drawn to it. The second paints fruits and an ox tries to eat them. The third a curtain and the judge goes to lift it. The third wins the contest. The third wins the contest. Once there lived 3 famous artists in a city. They were equally popular among their fans. Once a competition was held and an attractive prize was declared for the winner. A judge was appointed to choose the winner. All the 3 artists turned up. Given liberty to choose any theme he liked, one of them painted a bunch of flowers. The second artist painted fruits and the third a curtain. The flowers were so charming and natural that bees were drawn to them. Fruits were so fresh and natural that an ox tried to eat them. The paintings highly pleased the judge and elicited his praise. Then, turning round, the judge tried to lift L-I-F-T, the curtain to see the third painting. He thought it was a real curtain hanging before the door. But soon to his amazement he discovered that it was a picture and not a curtain. Then the judge thought for a while before passing his final verdict. He said, quote, "The flowers deceived an insect, the fruits a beast, but the curtain deceived a human being. Stop. Since a human being is superior to others, the third artist is the best." Stop, unquote. Word notes: elicited, উদ্রেক করা, praise, প্রশংসা, amazement, বিস্ময়, verdict, রায় বা সিদ্ধান্ত, superior, unnatomaner. Exercise. Read the outlines and develop stories on your own. Give suitable titles and add moral where possible. 1. A young boy fell into bad company. Parents unhappy. Father decided to teach a lesson, gave him some mangoes, told him to keep them aside, placed a rotten mango among them. The rotten ones spoilt the good ones. The boy realized, parents happy now. 2. A crocodile and a monkey were friends. Monkey gave sweet grapes. Crocodile gave it to his wife. The cruel wife wanted to eat the monkey. The crocodile asked the monkey to come to his house. On this journey through water, crocodile told the cause of invitation. Monkey told his heart was kept in the tree. The foolish crocodile went back. The monkey fled. 3. A merchant riding from fair. Large amount of money with him. A heavy rainfall. The merchant got drenched. Blamed God for his ill luck. Attacked by a robber. The robber fired, but the gunpowder was wet. The merchant escaped. Thanked God for rain. 4. A slave in ancient Greece ran away to save himself from the cruelty of his master. Came to a forest. Saw a lion. The lion crying in pain. A thorn in its paw. Slave took away the thorn. The slave caught, ordered to be thrown in front of a hungry lion. Lion thanked him in gratitude. Everybody astonished. The slave was freed. 5. A child lost. 2 ladies claimed. The case referred to the judge. A wise judge asked the child to be divided into 2 halves. One lady agreed. Another cried in fear. The judge identified the real mother, gave back her child. 6. 3 friends find a bag of gold, agree to divide it among themselves. One sent to buy food from nearby village, wants to take the money himself, buys poison. The other 2 plan to murder, kills the friend as he comes, eats the poisoned food. All of them die. Next, page 484, textual grammar.